And welcome to Racing, Pacing, Chasing. This is the pacing segment, episode 9. I'm Aaron Bain, joined by my co-host Rocky Butterworth and special guest tonight, Ryan O'Hara.
How are you, mate? Roz?
Good to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
So Ryan's going to join us on the whole show tonight, but we'll talk a little bit about Ryan's stable and certainly flying. And not sure if Ryan's aware, but he's leading the exclusive inaugural RPC Drivers Award at the moment. We dish out 3-2-1. I think you've scored again this week.
I think he gets another flag this week.
Another flag this week, I think. Yeah. So we've done each week. We've done a 3-2-1, Ryan, and at the moment you're slightly in front. We haven't decided the trophy yet. So
ending at the end of the month.
No, end of the season.
Oh, season.
I tell you, it is a trophy you want to win, mate.
So it's a marathon.
Yeah. Pride place, right?
That's all right, but we best get straight into it. But firstly, we must thank our sponsor, the Kapunda Harness Racing Club, and them, and also Gawler joined us as well recently. So both clubs on board, two good country clubs doing a fantastic job at both. We would be lost without their support. But Ryan's joined us tonight, and we've got plenty of questions lined up for Ryan at the moment. Right?
Yeah, we have. I mean, he's one of our best, mate, and has been for a long, long time. So I always like talking to him, but he's just recently lost his right arm. Matt Maguire's gone interstate to have a crack over there, which is great for him. Leaves Ryan a bit short, I would think, but we've spoken about this before, Roz, and it's just all systems go.
It's terribly disappointing, but the writing was certainly on the wall there for a while anyway. It's good to see that things were heading down that road that unfortunately we're going to part ways. Let's be honest, we set out on this journey 5 or 6 years ago now. I was working for Aaron Brown at the time, and he was there working for Aaron at the same time. And I think I was working 3 horses at the time, and they were all going terrific. It's Sleek and Sassy, Starcross, and Flag Bearer. And just ridiculous. I think they won 25 races between them or something. And had an opportunity to sort of go out on my own, and Aaron sort of said to me, "Look, you're probably getting a bit big yourself. You need to make a decision if you want to be a trainer or if you want to sort of be my foreman." Anyway. I think we went to Lance Justice's old place at the time, and I think we had 8 or 10 horses, and from those 8 or 10 horses today we've worked 25. So
I wasn't aware of that. You only started 5 years ago. As a trainer, it's fantastic.
So I mean, I'm just a name really. There's a great lot of people behind me. You can't work 25 horses by yourself. So it's a big collective effort, and I put a lot of credit to him as well. It's just me from that journey to where we are now.
So what have you set in place now, mate?
Well, obviously, you like to think you have a system to how you work your horses, and the system doesn't need to change. You just need someone to come in and pretty much take his role, which it's a big role and big shoes to fill. The Mildura trips, I'll probably unfortunately have to do it myself, which would be hard work because there's sort of so much to do at home. So I was of the view that I was always happy to send him with the horses, and I'd stay home and work the rest of the team.
Your bloke on your right goes up every now and then.
I'm sending someone else these days myself.
So that role will have to. We just got those few odd horses with bonuses that we'd like to send, but that'll be a tricky one. But apart from that, his work ethic and his dedication, he's there every morning.
Fantastic.
On time. So.
And you talk about the good team of staff behind you, but Paul Brumby's probably been one of your biggest backers from that day you set off to go on your own.
So he was the main driving force, and this horse was no star, but he will never ever forget his name. That's a horse called Star Brutus. He was the first horse we bought, and there were Paul and 2 other blokes who bought him for 8,000, and that syndicate turned into, I think we have 3 or 4 syndicates of people that Paul manages, and it's just run from there. He would have 5 or 6 or at any one time in work.
So anything that comes into your stable from Paul, is it a joint effort? You talk about the horse and then decide, let's grab it, or let's have a crack, or there's some that you say, not this one?
It's a collective effort. There's a few criteria they have to meet, because certainly we don't pay a lot of money for them, and there's a few boxes they have to tick, and we put our heads together, and if we think it's one we need to have a go at, we have a go at it.
And he's got you've got his full backing as such. It works the other way. If there's one you want to move on, it hasn't worked out, he only too happily supports you. And it's a system. They come in, as you said, they tick your boxes, come into your systems, they don't work, and you're quick to move him on and get that return for him, and you do a very good job at that.
Syndications are very, very hard to get to work
Yeah.
because you have too many people with too many different opinions.
Yeah.
I am just ridiculously lucky that Paul makes a decision, he sends an email to everyone, and everyone just runs with it.
Yeah.
Same as me. If I say, Paul, look, we need to move this horse on, he just sends everyone an email and says, look, Ryan says this horse has got to go.
Yeah.
And as soon as you just get one or two people say, oh, I want to stay in, I want to stay out, they are very, very hard to get to work.
Yeah.
But for so long, it's just worked amazing.
And he's broadening his, like he's sending some horses to Melbourne and that as well that have come from your stable, like 10 spanners, and probably one of his headline horses.
We got, and like I said, we make a collective decision,
Yep.
and there's no secrets, we lay everything out on the table, and she was the first one. She got to a point where I loved her. She's just, she's done an amazing job for us. She hadn't won a race before she come to us, and I always said to Paul, once she starts getting off the 30 and the 40 metre handicaps, I won't do it to her. She's got to go.
Yeah.
So we made the decision, and I think Paul actually asked Andy Gaff to take it first, and Andy said, look, I've got too many.
Yeah.
And he suggested Adam Kelly. He said he does an amazing job with them, doesn't work too many horses.
Yeah.
So that's how he come up in the system. And then we have, I think we send Friends because he's a bit of a clever horse. Friends, he needs to be thinking all the
Needed
time.
a change.
Needed a change. So he done a good job. And then Little Springfield Desire, he still needs to win his big red bonus.
Yeah.
So
He in work at the moment?
so he gave him a few runs and he wanted to give him a let up. So he gave him a let up over there, and I think he's back at work now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
See, from where I sit with you two blokes, whether you know it or not, you're just so similar in what you want to do. Like, we're happy to move them on through ABR as well, and you don't care if someone else gets a win with them. You're the same as well. If you throw one of yours away because it's done its job for you and someone else trains it to win 3 races, you're happy for them. It's just, you've got to turn them over, don't you? You've got to make sure that you've done your job with them. There's no more serious money to make out of them, but they can still win somewhere else.
I mean, it's just like selling them. Selling a horse, the worst thing you can do is sell it and not win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the bloke won't come back and buy another one.
Yeah.
So it's the best thing that can happen for your business.
Yeah.
Driving at the moment, you're driving in some very good form. You had a double on Saturday night, the Octagon for Francesca Cabone, and then also Regal Lager was a good win. He was probably gone at the 600. That seems how he raced a little bit. He was flat out, but both of them were good winners, and you've driven your fair share of winners of late. You're right back amongst them this season.
Yeah, we're certainly lucky enough to be out there enough, and if you throw enough darts at their target, you eventually knock it over. So you're lucky enough to be out there. I just want to say what a special mention to Lance Holden, what he's done with Regal Lager.
Yeah.
That horse never looked like he was going to get past C3, C4 company. And here he is beating fast class horses.
Yeah.
Just done an amazing job with him. Lovely little horse, tries his guts out every time he's out there. Like you said, they dropped him off at the 600 and at the last 200 he was sort of getting over top of them.
And he's doing a fantastic job with his team. Regal Scribe as well. I think he might be having a little break. I see it's in the market for the $1 million pace.
So I'm not sure. Well, someone must be going to camp over there with him, I would have thought, because you've got a resident there, don't you?
Yeah, but they might be sending him. I don't know. They must be sending him to a trainer. Culture King as well. So we must might get Lance on the show soon just to talk about that. He has done an amazing job with Regal Lager and Regal Scribe. So
you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, while we got Ryan on, we might get into your 3 wide no covers, and there might be some special mentions that we can, and then as we get to the driving points for the week as well, Rock.
We will.
Your favourite segment of the week, the 3 wide no cover.
3 wide no cover. Brought to us today by MGA Insurance Brokers. It's a guy called Steve McInerney who needs a 30-second phone call whenever we need some kind of sponsorship, and does a terrific job in all sorts of broking, not just with cars, whatever. He insures horses, a whole lot. So he come on board for the 3 wide no cover. But the first, I couldn't find anything in Adelaide that looked to have no luck on the weekend. Ryan might have had something, but I just couldn't see them in the replays.
Well, after Ryan's 3 wide no cover, we've got one while you're giving yours out, Ryan.
Yeah, so mine was a horse called My Village Safari at Melton on Saturday night. It was a 50-1 chance. It settled last, 4 back on the outside against horses like my Sweet Chili filly, who will never start favourite.
Sounds like a few of your exes, Rob.
Yes. It will never start favourite again, surely. It's had 3 starts for AP Gath, led every time, and first horse beaten under pressure. But this thing, Village Safari, settled last, 50-1 shot, came 4 or 5 wide, got beaten 3 metres. I just reckon if they can find the right class he can win a race. So for anyone that has been listening to the RPC just on fire over the last month or so, watch the last 300 metres of Village Safari here, flashing down the outside.
Nice Sweet Chili Filly, just in front of Chrissy Divinal on the crest of a wave, then hooking out as Nostra Beach. In need of a run was Guilty Hanover, poking through Man Hands, and further out on the track to Keyang Destiny as they make the turn. Hitting the front, Chrissy Divinal, My Sweet Chili Filly's under pressure. Third quarter was 28, Nostra Beach struggles, looking for a way clear, Man Hands, Guilty Hanover can't get out. In the straight, Chrissy Divinal led, down the outside is Keyang Destiny running on, Nostra Beach kicking on, Keyang Destiny after Chrissy Divinal. Man Hands getting through as well, running off the track. Keyang Destiny hit the lead, going with it. Nostra Beach, they hit it. Wow, it's close. Nostra Beach.
All right, well, we've got Village Safari in the Black Book. Ryan, you got anything you've driven in recent time? No.
Caught me on the hop, mate.
Caught me on the hop.
Can't
We
think of
had
it.
you just, I don't know if you watched last week's show, but your three votes drive last week was Let Us Ventilate. So he certainly went very good for Lyndon Hall. He first up.
Yeah, very interesting at the 500. I thought I'd be the first one back to the wash bay, but yeah, just kept sort of whacking away, and then
Bit like Regal Lager.
very rarely do you see him do what that horse done, be last and get to the outside at Port Pirie and come down the outside and win. So
Yeah, but
certainly
if you did that from the top of the straight, you would have run fourth.
as it,
You stayed on the fence.
yeah, for
and
sure.
got
That's
your
what I'm
run.
saying. It went against the total things. Usually,
Yeah.
yours defence is a place to be.
Yeah.
Always, I find that horses that come from that position are regularly and slowly run last quarters, which it happened to be. So that certainly helped. But no, done a great job.
Yeah, you did. Right, all right. Well, in the money.
Yep.
Thanks to Fluoro Milk, Clay Mods and Kimmy K. You found one. This is one of your favourites. You got a little soft
Yeah,
spot
it
for this
is.
horse.
I'd actually like him in our stable.
Maybe Ryan's stable. My stable can't get a winner at the moment.
He hasn't been drawing very well. I haven't had a close look at the rating system to see whether it's just bad luck that he's out in 6 and 7 over the last couple of weeks, or whether it is the rating system. But Glider has started wide the last 2 starts. He did have some gate speed last time he worked, but he's not gone there the last couple and dropped out the last, and hasn't had a whole lot of luck. He's had to come 5, 6 wide both times. Only just been beaten, and I think the day that he can draw 2 or 3 or even 8 or 9, Glider will be winning another race as well.
Well, you've been on fire, Rock, so we'll stick with it as the
We'll
end of the money.
have a look and see
Let's
what
take a
you
look at the
think.
replay. He did win well. Let's take a look at the last couple of metres.
Coming together, the Octagon starting to come into the race at the right time, and Glider's on his outside. Villaboy goes to the lead, but here comes the Octagon. Glider out even wider's coming at him now. Villaboy in front, on the outside, the Octagon. Glider's coming with him. The Octagon goes to Villaboy, who's kicking back. Villaboy, the Octagon goes to the lead, and the Octagon wins. Beats Villaboy and Glider. Fourth placing about 7 metres away. Maybe Chanel Princess in front of Muay Thai. Then Pat the Pony have a crack on point behind those Caballo Diablo.
Well, thanks to our sponsor there, but again, Rock, you've let us down. You've got no Fluoro Milk on the desk for us this week. I think it's the 4th week running.
Told you,
So
mate, I can't find Kimmy Taylor, 2 Hibben mods.
last
Find
chance, Rock, next
harder
week.
working blokes.
We're back in the city.
Kimmy
We're
worked
back in the
12
city
hours last week.
We're back in the city next week. No excuses.
I'll
Close
get
to
it
their
next
home.
week.
Next week. All right. This is the prestigious, inaugural, whatever you like to call it, RPC Driver of the Year award.
Probably
And we
both,
are up
really.
to. Sorry?
Probably both.
Both, it is. It's a very prestigious award. We're yet to develop the trophy, but I'm tipping something like the Everest or the Golden Eagle. It'll look something very similar.
Similar to that.
Yeah, probably worth 1/1000th of the
Worth the
price.
same.
Yeah, worth the same. Hey, tell me, just on that, the Everest trophy was worth 400 thousand, I reckon.
Was it?
Yeah. There was a bit of conjecture going around
That's
about
been a 4 it was. No zeros.
Won't have to worry about ever holding it. I would have thought.
There's a couple of decimal places. Anyway, we'll get into the Driver of the Week awards.
Yep.
Right, Rock, with you, 3 votes.
3 votes, Wayne Hill on Major Macho on Saturday night. He sort of won out 3 back from barrier 11, which I thought was pretty handy spot for him to land. He flushed out the 1-1 with a lap to go, but was able to follow that helmet for as long as he wanted. They did take off at the 600, but he waited and then came hard at the leader. I think was Alexander Greenwood. and caught it not far from home. So I thought the drive from Wayne to Holden was good enough to get the 3 votes. I think the other one might have fought back and beat it if he'd gone another 100 metres earlier. So he got the 3 votes, 2 votes to our EJ Hurley winner, Kenny Rogers. Same deal, I thought his driver smack water jack in the first, was pretty patient. They went kind of hard in that race for that class, and a couple of them nicked off, and then Kenny made his run when they were all starting to get tired at the 600, and he won pretty comfortably, 10 metres I think, in the end. So Kenny gets the 2 votes, and one vote to the bloke sitting on my right here, Ryan.
You had to squeeze him in because he was coming on the show.
It's the only reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like the footy show, you just got to squeeze them in so they don't go home crying. But it was a good drive. I don't know whether it was a good drive or not, the way he was talking before. But Danny nicked off on blinding light, probably 400 from home, I reckon. Could have put 15 metres on you, maybe 10, 15 metres on you.
You could have drove this one, mate.
But you caught it.
Rocky can't give one up. Right?
I can't what?
Can't give one up.
Don't have to out our joint, mate.
Anyway, before we go, and that is our 3-2-1, and Ryan is leading the way just narrowly at the moment.
Yep.
I think Stephen Grace might be a close second, actually, Ryan, after a couple of pearls on 101 pots. But how do you see? And we don't want to get into too much heated debate. Rocky was a couple of weeks ago, but how do you see the racing and the state of affairs in South Australia at the moment? It is your livelihood on the line. It is so close to you, and it means so much to both of us. But how do you see it at the moment, and where's the future lie for us? Putting you on the spot, I know, but
yeah, it's
speaking from the heart.
Very interesting question. To be honest, I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah.
Sort of gets quite depressing. Unfortunately, I think we need to try and sort out what the hell's going on with Globe Derby first. That's probably the worrying factor out of it all. Once we sort out what's going on there, it probably can put things into place, you know. So in that regard, we need to get that sorted out first. And then once we know where we're headed with that, well then we can see things go on. I mean, not only, you know, people want to talk about our state, like, the numbers are dwindling everywhere. You know, they're really, you know, you look at the 5 and 6 horse fields in Victoria. So people just, that's what I mean. Look, $35,000 race and up 5 horses in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not just our state; it's across the board.
And it is. We were only talking the other week. It's hard to, you know, the worrying thing is with the new rating system, getting horses, and that's probably, you know, you made a comment that you think it's going to get harder, and attracting horses to this state and getting people to buy. You've obviously got syndicates there wanting to buy a horse, and that, I don't know, there's just something around. There's not that pool of horses to buy here at the moment. I
mean, I get and I understand why they put the rating system in place, but I honestly absolutely hate it. I think it's the worst thing that's happened for a long, long time. For the country, or for the state in particular? Would you like to see us do something else? I mean, you can only go what's in your backyard, you know, and I personally think it just can't work here, just because of the pool of numbers and that, and you know, you only ever take on board what happens in your own backyard. And what I mean by that is, we can buy a cheap horse, and that cheap horse, if we got to go okay, I could win 4 or 5 races with it. He can only win 2 or 3 at best now before his job's done. You know, and we just can't generate enough fun and money out of it to try and keep owners going. That's the problem. But I understand why they're doing it, because it's all about turnaround and stuff like that. But
turnover has improved, no question with that. And you're spot on. The odds-on favourites are nowhere near as many as they would be. So there's things to like about it.
I just quickly want to go back to Glider and what you're saying about him. He is a victim of the rating system, because he's low in the ratings, but he's like a 50 and he runs in 50 and above, so he gets the worst barrier draw all the time. So like you said, if it gets back to the fact that he draws 1 or 2, he probably wins 2 or 3 out of those races that he's been unlucky with. So there's so many stories.
And then you're going to put on a claim, and it's kind of a start like thoroughbreds. Do you put an apprentice on and lose maybe 2 or 3 lengths, or do you try and win one in the grade that it is currently rated? It's tough. You've got to start doing sums, and like we're ready to buy or get shares in another one at Aaron's, but the $4,000 horses that we used to buy at $5,000, now you can't, because
I think
they might only win 1 or 2 and meet their mark.
And I think the rating system, Aaron's probably always purchased quite dearer ones, or a little bit dearer ones than what we have, But those ones that we used to find now, they're not there
Yeah.
because I reckon the system's
People-
catered for those
yeah.
bad horses. They can
Yeah.
keep them and win their bonus themselves.
Yeah.
I reckon in the last 3 or 4 months, I've probably had 1 or 2 new ones. But we would probably have regularly 4 or 5.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just can't. Very hard to find them.
Now, let's finish on a good note. Let's give our viewers something to follow. What do you? We talk about the stable. What's there that hasn't stepped out at the moment? You do like?
And this gets back to the rating system. I've got 2 or 3 3-year-olds that I really like, but gee whiz, is it hard for them? You know, like I've got a horse that hasn't raced, running against horses that have won $40,000 and $20,000.
Wow.
You know, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
I have a real soft spot for a filly called Sleek and Sweet. Had a
Yeah.
couple of trials, got a lot to learn. This is pretty much her first preparation. She had a OCD in the back hock taken out as an
Yeah.
early 2-year-old and pretty much missed her 2-year-old days. Yeah, soft spot for her and her mother. I
Yeah.
won 10 or 11
Very
straight
good,
with her
yeah.
mum. So we're hoping for her. But like I said, you know, you got some 3-year-olds that you get excited about, but they might as well be 4 because they win 1
So
or 2.
if you can in 1 minute, talk us through, if you take that 3-year-old to the races on Saturday, how long before you were scratching your head thinking, where the hell do I place it now?
After that 1 win,
1 win.
honestly, because
He didn't take a minute to answer. He took 4 seconds.
honestly, because
Gee whiz.
she's a girl, so she gets back to 45. If she was a boy,
Yeah.
and let's say for instance he goes and wins one $7,000 race, he goes to a 54. If he wins 1 more,
The problem with that 54 is the girl can only drop back to the 52 how they've got them programmed because you can't get under that
can't
51.
get under the 52.
It's the 51 back or the
and,
52
and the
back.
drama that I've got, and let's
That
take-
52 to 55 is hard,
Oh, of
as it
course
is.
Like Wade Pinger, lad, I quite like him as a horse. I'm reluctant to run him here because he's got a Vic Bred
Yes.
bonus in him. So if I win a couple of races here, he's going to try and win his Vic Bred bonus in like the old C2 or C3 grade. Springfield Desire is a perfect example of that.
Struggling.
He done an amazing job here. In this, when I didn't realise that the points were rolling over, and we thought, how good's his horse going? And then when we rolled over the new system, I think he was a 56 or something,
Yeah.
and he couldn't win his bonus.
Yeah.
It was just he
That's
was running
C3
against.
and C4s.
I think Better Have Time was airborne at the
Yeah.
time, was doing an amazing job here. We run into him at Mildura.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's very hard.
Oh, well, it's been a thanks for joining us tonight, Ryan. We could go on for minutes, hours.
Yep.
There's certainly plenty to cover, but we try and stay as buoyant as we can about the industry. And
Yep, too right.
you know, it is our livelihood. You more so than myself, but you know, we thank you for joining us tonight. We'll keep an eye out for Sleek and Saturday. How far out from the races? We
Yeah,
think?
we're just sort of ironing out a few
Ironing
things.
out.
I think she'll probably go back to the trials again Sunday. And
Yeah.
look, unfortunately, my head's telling me that she probably should go and have 3 or 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
So she'll tell that Sunday. If she sort of goes really good at the trials Sunday, she will push on. If she doesn't, she can go and have a bit of a let up.
And she certainly in her trial today looked very green. We might even put that as our trial file for this week, right? We've missed trial file, so
Yeah.
Ryan's tipped our trial file and the horses to follow. So Sleek and Sassy there. But thanks for joining us, Ryan. Rocky, it's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah,
Certainly been
very
plenty
good.
to cover.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks for having me.
And hang around. We've got the chasing segment next of racing, pacing, chasing. There's plenty more to come.